Okay, we're live. Okay, today we're gonna talk about real estate agent training, how to search on the MLS, and afterwards we do a offer. Okay, using call form. Okay, let's start. Okay, and we go from here. All right, so we're streaming live. Okay. All right, so when you become an agent, you're gonna have to participate in a local MLS. Okay, so for us, it's Tri-County, or it could be Citrus Valley. It could be any local MLS. Okay, organization. They wanted to do a centralized California MLS. Okay, they've been talking it forever, years and years, like 50 years plus, but they never get it done. Okay, so it still remain local. So if you're in the Beverly Hills area, they have, Beverly Hills MLS, right? You're down in Inland Empire, you probably have Tri-County. You're in the, San Gabriel Valley, you have San Gabriel Valley MLS. So all of that is localized, okay? But no matter which one that you join, you're gonna have access to the MLS network, and you can search for houses, okay? So um, the site is imrmls.com, okay? That's without going through your local MLS. This is directly going to their uh, network, okay? So once you pay your due and everything else, right? You have access to this software platform. All right. So the MLS dashboard, you just click on to log in. They have some other area, like San Diego, right? Users, right? But we're in a prime Southern California, okay? So you type in your user ID, okay, and then your password, okay? And then you're gonna get messages, you know. Okay, so you have a menu, right, from Tri-Counties Association of Realtors. Okay, that's the MLS board that we are using, right? And then if you can see, right, on the right hand side, right, and then they time the session time, they log everything that you do, okay, so they have a record of it. And access your MLS, right? And then of course you have Tri-County Products and Services. That's your local MLS website. They have calendars for training, the homepage, right? How to pay them, right? And then they also have their own Facebook account there. Okay. So, but in general, this is the icon that we use the most. It's the CRMLS matrix. Okay. If you look at the left, you have other things that would assist you to do your real estate business. Okay. All the way down here at the bottom is Supra, okay? That's the E key that you would use to show houses, okay? And it's about $16 plus change per month, okay? So you have access to the E key. You could open up those Supra lock boxes and get the keys and, show the home. So, but you have to look at how to show the home, okay? That's why you need to access the network, okay? You cannot just go up to any house with a lockbox and open it up and go in, okay? There's a protocol for it, okay? You have to call first, right? Or the other instruction. They may have pets at home. They may have a day sleeper, a sleeper there. You never know what the situation is, so you have to check the MLS, all right? And then call form here, that's for filling out offers, right? Your listings, all of the paperwork is done through this icon here, okay? And then real list here, okay, that's what we do the searching of the houses and looking at the details of the houses like ownership, taxes, acreage, a lot of things that's particular to the house, okay? So we use CoreLogic's real list, okay, platform, okay? And then there's other stuff that will help you, right, to do your business. For rental, you have rent spree, and then you have other cloud services that you may want to uh, use, okay? But all in all, the three icons that we use the most as realtors is the matrix, okay, the MLS, searching for houses, okay, the call form, okay, for filling out offers or getting a listing done, okay, all of the paperwork, okay, and then researching for house and the market is the real list, okay. So those are the three icons that we use the most. So we're gonna go into the MLS, okay, network to search for house, okay. So you click on this icon, and you're gonna get a notice, okay. So we'll read that later, okay. Now the top menu, okay, if you join other MLS, okay, this upper left hand corner will be a different name, okay. It could be, Beverly Hills, MLS, okay, or South San Gabriel Valley MLS, okay. But the top menu, you can see my matrix, okay. That's all of the things that's particular to your account, okay. You have a search function. In it, you can search for real estate, right? Residential income, okay. So that's for like duplex, triplex, multi-unit apartments, okay. Residential lease, right? So leasing a house, okay. Or you could go search for vacant land, okay, raw land or land that we could build on. Or manufacturing park, those are mobile home, okay. Or commercial, okay, commercial buildings. And then cross property is that they may have multiple zones that you want to link, okay? And then public record and more, all right? So typically, and then the add edit is where you upload your listing, okay? Whether it's a lease or a sale, okay? You could do that there, all right? And then finance, you have financial calculators, right? You could calculate how much it takes, for the buyer to close, or how much the net proceeds that the seller would have. Okay, so this is a form that you fill in the numbers. And then roster is for agents. Okay, finding the agents and finding their office. Okay, and then stats. That's what you have done to your platform, your website. And then realist tags, that's the link that links to the icon that we saw earlier, right? To look at property details, pricing, and the demographics, okay? And then links to other services, okay? If you look at the links, you could see, all listed out like on the front page, okay? So you could do all of that. So, but today's lesson, we're gonna search for a house, okay? All right, so you click on search. You're gonna have, a lot of choices, right? So we're gonna look for houses, okay? We're not gonna look for rental or income property or land, okay? Today we'll focus on just finding a perfect house for your buyer, right? Or for yourself, okay? So we go to, how many ways you could search, okay? Many, okay? One is all flat out all the details. The other way is that you do you have the MLS number, so you go to listing ID. Okay, if you do that, you just punch in the MLS number, and you could search that way. Okay, or you could just plainly use the address. Okay, or you could just say, I don't want to look at anything else, but I just want to look at today's new listings. Okay, so if you click on that, right, you want active, you put in a city. Let's say you want Rancho Cucamonga. Okay, and on the bottom left hand corner, right, right there, 128 matches. What does that mean? That means today, only today, in Rancho Cucamonga, you have 128 new listings. New, not before, okay? So if we change this to, let's say, Fontana, okay, you have 170, okay? You go to Riverside, okay, 351, okay? Riverside City is huge, okay? And if you go to Los Angeles, that's even bigger, okay? 2,000, okay? That's a lot of homes, all right? So, you know, do not tell me that we cannot do this with business, right? We got tons of, things out there that you could buy and sell, okay? All right, so we go back, okay? We're not interested in today's listing only. We want to, look at all of the listings, okay? And then you could create your own, okay? So let's do details so I could show you how quickly and how powerful this search engine is. All right. So once you click on details, right? If I scroll down, you can have a lot of parameters, right? But we're not going to use all of them, okay? Now, there's some basic ones that you need to know, okay? So, of course, you want to go for active, okay? Unless you want to check for something, right? Let's say you want to find out how many houses are closed, right, in that neighborhood, right? Then you use close. Or expire, right? You get some expire listing. You can call the seller up and say, hey, do you want to continue selling under, my listing? Okay. Or you could do cancel, hold, and withdraw, right? But actually, if you're searching for a home, you want active, right? That has not been under transaction. Okay. So it's under contract. You're too late, right? Someone is in contract already or pending, right? So active, okay. They added a new one recently about half a year ago. Coming soon, okay. That's to give you a preview of what's coming. Because a lot of people is try to grab houses right off the bat, but they just want to. It's like a preview, okay. So coming soon, okay? I typically don't use that, okay? I just say active, okay? Now, next step is that you want to know what city you want to get into, right? You don't want to go to a county level because that's a wider search, okay? So I don't typically use county, or if you want know, if you buy one a particular zip code, right? So I have to get a house in that particular zip code. Okay, then you use the postal zip code. Okay, so city, you could do multiple cities as well. Okay, so first one we're gonna do Rancho Cucamonga. Okay, so you click on that, right, and you could then go to Fontana. Okay, and then you use the control key. Okay, you press on the control key and click on Fontana. Okay, so if you go through this list now, right, you're gonna see. Let's just find Rancho, okay? Rancho Cucamonga, okay? So you just use a comma separator, okay? Comma, space, and then Fontana, okay? So that will select the two cities, right? Or you could add one more, right? Ontario, okay? So those are the three cities that we're searching for, okay? The houses, okay? Now we go over to the right side now, okay? And the price, okay? Now if you don't know what what to fill in, right, you click on a question mark, and then they will help you, right? There's a help notes to how to type the numbers in, okay? You don't need to type in the $sign or the comma or on the decimal, okay? So for the price, if you just put in 500,000, okay, it will show all of the houses that has 500,000 only. So if you look at this, right, bottom left hand corner, very important, right? Always watch. I got one match. Yeah, I got one match, right? Yeah, so if you click on this, okay, we don't know what city is in, right? So you click on that and go under search. Okay, it's in Fontana, right? See, one house at exactly $500,000. All right, so if you click on that, so it's a house that looks like this, okay, and it's asking for $500,000, and it's on the market for 29 days. Okay, 29 days. Okay, so let's go back, okay, to our criteria. Okay, you go back to the criteria. Okay, so instead of just say 500,000, right, we'll give it a range, right? So typically we go plus or minus 10%, right? If you want a $500,000 home, right, 10% is 450. Okay, I use a dash for the range, dash, okay, to 550,000. Okay. Now look at the bottom left, right? You got 89 choices. Okay, once you put in a range, okay. Or you could say, I don't want to use a range. I just don't want to go over 600,000. Okay, so 600,000 is your top maximum. So you just say 600,000. Okay, 000 minus, meaning anything 600 and below. Okay, let me look at it. Okay, so there's a lot of houses there, right? Okay, or you could say 600,000, right? You say, okay, I want a mansion, right? But I want to pay more than $1 million for it. Okay, so you put in $1 million, and then you say plus. Anything above, anything at 1 million or above, it'll show up. So there's 26 of them down here in the 3 cities. Okay, so that's how we control, right, how we search for prices. So look at this, okay? So if you don't understand it, right, just click on the question mark. It'll give you examples, okay, that I just went over, okay? Now, if you don't put anything there, it's going to give you everything, okay? So in those 3 cities, right, active listing, you have 412. All right, so we're gonna put a range, right, because that's a affordability issue, right? So we put 450,000 to 550,000. Okay, so we got 89 matches, right? Now we want to see if you want to do new construction, right? Some are new homes, right? So if I say yes, there's only 8 of them, okay, in the 3 cities, okay? So let's leave no, okay? We want to have more choices, okay? And the bedrooms, right? Don't worry about a parcel number. That's the particular, if you have a particular house in mind that you want to look at to see if they are on the listing, then you put that in, okay? So bedrooms, right? How many bedrooms do you want? Lila? 4, right? So you say 4 plus, anything 4 or more, it's okay, right? And how many total baths? 3, right? 3 plus, okay? Or you could ask for, full bath plus 3/4 bath, half bath, or full baths, right? Any number of these combination. Okay, but typically, when you say 3, it may be 2.5 or 2 and 0.75. They have a shower, right? So typically we'll just say 3 bath and up, okay, or 2 bath or up, okay. So that's basically the very basics. Some they even go how big the house is, okay. So this living area, that does not include a garage. All right, garage is typically 20 by 20. That's a 400 square foot. Okay, difference. So living area is the inside of the house. Okay, minus the garage. Okay, so I would say a typical 4-bedroom house, at least 2,000. Okay, is more comfortable. Okay, or you could even go down to 1,500. Right. So, but let's use 2,000 square foot plus. Okay, anything above 2,000. Or you could give it a range. Okay, or you could say, oh, I don't want it to be that big. I just want it below 2,000. Okay, so if it's below 2,000 is minus. Okay, so we want it above, so it's plus. Okay, and then you also have an option to filter out the lot size, how big the land is. Okay, so if you want to build an ADU, whatnot, right? You want the lot size to have at least 8,000, but to be more specific, Rancho don't let you build an ADU if it's not over 10,000 square foot. Okay, so we just say 10,000 plus. Okay, so then if you look at it right now, it's zero match, right? Why? They don't have any listing that has over 10,000. So we go a little bit lower, 8,000. Okay, still no match. So it tells you that these houses are with less lots, right? So we forget about that lot issue, right? If we put down 5,000 and up, okay, you have one. You can see how smaller the lots are, right? These are older houses. So we leave that out entirely, okay? Garage spaces, we want 2, right? And garage, I want it to be attached. Okay. Now, if you want to say, oh, I want to build an ADU, I want it to be, you have 2 matches, right? I want it to be separate. No. Okay. Detached, there's no detached garage. Okay. So we just leave that out entirely. You just click on a blank. Okay. But you have two matches. What does that tell us? Okay. That tells me that for that price range, right, we're very limited. 550,000 don't give you much. Okay. And if you go down here, right, I want single family residence, right, property subtype. If I click that, okay, there's only one. So what does that mean? That means the other one is a condo. So if I click condo 2, I select condo 2, there's 2. Right? So we just want single family residence. Okay? So woohoo, we got one match, right? Let's see what that is, right? For that price range. So search. It's in Fontana, right? Burnett Court. Okay. If you look at it, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,230 square foot. Okay, and it's built in 04. It's decent. Okay. So let's look at it and click on that listing ID icon. Okay. So the house looks something like this, which is decent. They only have 5 pictures. You click on the multiple. So you see some of the interior. They have a kitchen with the island. Okay. and then a small laugh. Okay. So what does that tell me? What does this tell me? They only got a few pictures. It's a rental, right? Okay, it's a rental. If it's vacant, right? They could give me more pictures, right? Or they do a staging, right? To me, this is not staged professionally. So this is, or it may be staged, but they stage it themselves, right? But they should have more than that. Okay, not 5 pictures. Some of them, the requirement is that you have to have one picture. Okay, if they have one picture on there, rental, because they cannot get in or it's not convenient to go in. Okay. All right, so we close that window. All right. So this listing, as you can see, right, the right-hand side gives you a lot of information. Right, if you go down, right, the lot is 5,000, 2 levels, 2-car attached garage, built in 04. It's a single-family residence detached. It's been on the market, day on market, 12. CDOM is cumulative, okay? Days on the market, 12. Okay. And then it's a standard sell, right? And the listing ID is this, okay? Now, parcel number, that's the assessor parcel number. They have a link here, okay? Oftentimes the agent do not click on it, okay? But you, being a professional agent, you should click on it. Why? Because it will tell you more details about this house. So let's click on it, okay? And see what happens. It'll bring you to real list, and then you see right away, okay, that who the owner is, okay? Last name is she, okay? And the partner is Lee, okay? So this must be the wife, okay? And the mailing address is Chino Hills, okay? But it says owner occupied. No, right? It says no, right? So you know it's a rental, right? So it's in Fontana. This is the APN number, track number, and lot number, okay? And the book and the page, okay? Everything is there, okay? So the taxes here, right? It went up 9%, okay? So right now it's evaluated at 518, okay? And the tax is $7,000. So it's a little bit 1.3. Fontana's about 1.3. Okay. And the characteristics, right? It tells you how many rooms it has. Blah blah blah. Okay. And the sell score, which is high, right? 751. Okay. Anything above 650, right? Close to 700 is a good market to sell it. Okay. Estimated value. This is computer value. Okay. They say that it could go up to $596,000, and the range is 550 to 638. Okay, and this is value calculated by a computer as of September 6th. Okay, today is the 15th. Okay, so it's about a week off. Okay, continuing down. Okay, listing information, right, is active. That's your current listing, right? By who? By Miss Tron, okay, and the company is Simple Life Inc. Okay, and previously they have a cancel listing in April. All right, they didn't sell at 490. It expired, okay, and then it expired, right? Another listing, but that's for $2,000. You know that's rental, right? You cannot buy a house for $2,000. Okay, so they rent it out for $2,000. They try to rent it out, okay, And then they probably go through a different source to rent it out, because that's 2014, and then they try to sell it again at 2017, and then recently 2021, and now, right, they listed for 599,999. So what does that tell you? They want you to bid up above 600, right? This is like hint, 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 hint. I don't want to, say it's 600,000, right? It's still at the fives, right? High fives, right? But it's hinting you that they want you to bid up, okay? Now going down further, last market sale in history. That's when they bought it, last bought it. Back in 05, it was pretty high, right? Already, right? So they bought it at 414. They make some money, okay? Not much, but 100 grand plus, okay? And it's a full grand deed, okay, from this person, okay? Okay, so no, it's from a company, LLC. So it's a brand new house, first time owner, okay? Recording date, they bought in 05, right? They transferred, they do a quick claim. Probably the wife, the buyer is Lee, okay? The seller is quick claiming to Lee, okay? And then somehow they also, they grant deed afterwards, right? To Li Shi. So it may be like a internal transfer, okay? It runs in the family, right? Li and Li, right? Okay. So, okay, but looking at the mortgage, right? It bought in 05. So back in 05, they used what? Young Home Mortgage, 330. Okay. They got a second, right, for 63,000 from Wells Fargo in 06. And they also, that's not a third, they may pay it off and get a different second for 15,000. Or it could accumulate, right? It just add on. Maybe it's a third loan, okay? But then in 2019, right, it went down to 295. So they may refinance the whole thing, right? Because it's been like 14 years. And most recently in September, okay, they refi again to 293 just to get a better rate, right? Because it's like only from February to September, right? 7 months, right? Okay, and they pay down a little bit, okay? So that's that, okay? And I think initially they have two. One is Wells Fargo, 05, and here. So when you add it up together, it's close to 400,000, okay? But the purchase price back there is 414. So they put in about 20 grand down payment, okay? So this couple made out, and they made 100 grand, right? If they sell it for this price. So this report is very informative. All right, so you know who the owner is, right? You know what the history is, and you know how much equity they have in there, right? So most currently is 300 minus 500. They have $200,000 equity in there, right? On a normal market, you could, negotiate with them, right? Okay, you don't need to make that much, right? Give me a discount, okay? But sometimes you see the mortgage is mortgaged to the hilt, okay? And even if they want to give you a discount, they cannot, right? So don't go and cut down the price less than what they mortgage for, right? They won't sell it to you, okay? So This is an inside story, okay, that you can see, okay? Very important. And now, how much are we going to offer, right? So you look at the comparables, right? You click on the comparable. And then it's going to generate, because it's going to go run through all of the houses sold that is similar to this property. So you see this running here, okay? Just wait for it. Or you can simply go to the Zillow and see what they say, okay? So I'll do that while it's turning the wheels here, okay? So I highlight that, okay, right click, copy, and then I go to Zillow. And then put in that address. Okay, right there, it shows it's trying to sell for $545, okay? And they had a price cut, okay? They came down, it was too high. See, Zillow estimate, they call it a Zestimate, okay, for the Z, 623. So Zillow is not that, accurate in terms of the market price. This is what they predict using the computer model, okay? So originally they were at 600, right? Now they want 545, okay? So I think at 545 they should be able to sell it, okay? Now estimated payment, right? You know how Zillow works, right? It'll tell you if you buy this house with a conventional 20% down, your payment's going to be $23.45. Okay, it's just like better than renting. Okay, so down here you go. Since they put it back on the market, right? 12 days. Okay, 65 saves. Okay, and this is the listing. Okay, single family home built in 04, right? I mean, Zillow is deciphering some of the information from the MLS, and then reformat it and put it into their own format. Okay, so they estimate 623. The range is about right. Okay, so if you look at the real list, right, this is the range, right? They got a low. Okay, don't look at low. Low is usually, foreclosure or whatnot. Okay, that's not accurate. I always look at the median price, and I look at the price per square foot, which you have 261. So you take out your calculator, 261.87. Okay, times what? The square footage of your house, which is here. Okay, 2230. Okay, so excuse me, 2230. So I came out with 583, 584, so 585. So it is below, right? Okay, it's below 600. So they did a strategy. They went below the actual market price, about 30,000, and they want people to come in and bid it back up to above 580. Okay, so simply put, right, this house, according to the comps, is about 585. Okay, now if we zoom in here, okay, you're gonna see the area, okay, and I would say the closest one to it, okay, because you got like 15, 18 houses plus, all right. So the one that's closest to the black dot here, okay, the black anchor here, so to speak. Okay, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this whole area. Okay, because once you go beyond that neighborhood, right? Okay, like this is Beach Avenue. Okay, once you cross Beach Avenue or on the other side, it may be a completely different neighborhood. So I typically look at the local comms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, and see what they are, right? So we look at it here, okay. They bought it at 414. That's the subject property, okay. So they've been buying it for. Let me bring this up a little bit, okay. 551, 545, right? 250. That's not in the ballpark. 508, 500, and 507. Okay. So if we look at the average, right, it's in the low 550s. Okay. Which is what we could see, right? So you could compare the pictures too, right? So you pick the highest one, 551, right? Okay. You look at the pictures here, that little camera, okay? This is someone else's house comparable to the one that you try to buy, right? So you look at it, okay, and look at it, it's a lot better than the one you try to buy, right? Okay, you got more pictures, right? Okay, okay, so what does that tell us? Okay, but you look at this, okay, it's back in January close. It's been 9 months, almost 9 months, right? So there should be an increase in the price, right? Okay, so typically in this wild market that we see, right, it increased probably 10%, right? So 551 times 1.1, right? It should be 606, which is about the same ballpark. But there are more nicer house. So you knock off, right, 5%, right? Because you upgrade the kitchen, right? You paint it, right, to make it as good as the other one, right? So you give it 5% off, so which is 575. So it tracks with what I have. Look at the median price, right? 585. Okay, so I would offer in there, right? Knowing that that's how much it's worth, right? They want 545. I would give them 560 to start. Okay, for the offer price. Okay, and then we bid it up. Okay, and I wouldn't go over 600. Okay, because it doesn't worth that much, right? Even the best one on the block, right, with 10% high in prices, since the end of January, it's only 600,000. Okay, so I would cap my offer for this house at 600,000. Okay, so basically this is how we do a analysis of the houses that you try to buy. Okay, first you find it, and then you look at the details and you look at the comparables around. Okay, so the quickest indication that you could do is to look at the median, okay, price per square foot, and then you times the square footage of that house, okay, and then you get a rough number, okay, and then you look at the neighborhood, right, the closest one in that neighborhood, okay. So you have an idea of how much it is. But you could average everything out. But if you average everything out, you might as well look at this on top. Okay, look at the median. Okay. All right. So let me exit out of here. Okay, going back to this search. Okay, I'm gonna teach you guys how to search a little bit more detail. All right. Now you look at this map, right? Rancho Fontana map. Okay. You click on it. You expand on it, and you're gonna see a satellite map. Okay. So you know what the surrounding areas are, right? So you know you have some new developments here, right? You have a field, a park, etc., etc., right? So sometimes when you look at a map like this, you zoom it out, okay? You may not want to be close to an airport, right? Or something that is commercial, right? So this is a heritage village community, okay? Very well designed. They have won some awards, etc. And they use Rancho Cucamonga schools, okay? And in terms of this, right, we don't know what school it is in. It's probably Fontana School District, right? So we look at the Zillow, okay? Go back to Zillow, and we drill down here, okay? To see what school that they have, okay? Nearby school, okay? So it's Hemlock Elementary, Elmeria Middle School, and Summit High School, okay? 446, okay? Average, okay? If you go to the Etiwana school district, okay, it will be 8, 8, and 8. Okay, a lot better for the kids, right? If you're into education that way, okay? Or you could just go to Great School, right? GreatSchools.com, and then you can search for any school for that particular house, okay? And here's a map of what the neighborhood, values are, right? So next door, right, is 600,000. Okay, why is that? Well, maybe the house is bigger, right? Well, they have a swimming pool, right, etc. But you could click on it and see, right? Next door has, okay, it's off market now. They estimate at 660. They could rent it out for 3,000, right? So if you look at the specs here, what they have. But this is the street view that you can see, right? So it is a nicer home, okay? So, and then this is everything they have in there for Fontana, right? Okay, so this is Zillow, right? But let's go back to our listing. So if you're gonna make an offer on this 545, I would go into a 560, okay, and see, what happens, okay. All right, so looking at this listing now, right? This is the description, right? It says no HOA, blah blah blah, right? And nearby to go Magic Wand, whatever, right? Coffee shop. You scroll down to the bottom, and you see how is it being shown, right? Show information. What does it say? Okay, it says contact Diane. Okay, that's the agent's name, and it's tenant occupied. Okay. Where is the lockbox? Water pipe on the side. They didn't say left or right, right? So you have to search, right? Left and right side, right? So if you're right-handed, you go you go to the right side. If it's not there, you go to the left. If you're left-handed, you go to the left side first, etc. Right? It says here, obtain code. Okay, please text to this number, which is I guess Diane's number. Your business card. Make sure that you're in business, right? And the time and the date that you're showing. So this listing agent is very lenient. It says estimated time and date of showing. Okay, other people don't like that. Okay, and the issue is that you just give me a time and I'll ask the tenant, right, just to confirm. Okay, so and then they have directions. Okay, which I think they don't need to have that because everybody has GPS now. Okay. And then that's the cell phone, right? And this is all the offer email. You email the offer to this email, okay? Okay. Sometimes they don't read and they do the wrong thing, okay? And they just rush to the house, right? Make an appointment with the buyer, and then they don't have a code, right? And then they try to text and call, and then the listing agent may not be available. So you get everything set up, okay, before you go and show. Now, schedule a showing, right? This is showing time. Some people love it, some people hate it, okay, because when they call, it's a computer, okay. It says, so and so want to show your house, please confirm, right? So some people use it. I don't typically like to use it, okay. If I'm too busy, I'll use it, but if I'm not, I'll just say, please do not use showing time. Just text me, okay. Alright, so basically this is it for this listing, right? So I'm gonna go back to the criteria, okay? And I'm gonna show you one other search function that is very useful to cater to your clientele, okay? Okay, let's increase this margin a little bit higher, right? So we got more choices, right? So let's do 650 and down, okay? Minus. So I got 12, okay? Let's see if it's in this group here. Now, what happens if your buyer say, "Oh, we have 2 kids and we want them to go to Los Osos High School," right? You're not gonna, do this work every day and see if listing comes out and is in close proximity of the school, etc., right? So they have a very unique function. They do it searching by map. So you click on his map, okay, upper right hand corner, map, okay, and you can see all of the listing that you search already, 12 of them, right? So I would jump to this address, right? And I just say Los Osos High School, okay? Sometimes they cannot find it, then you have to put in the exact address, okay? So voila, that's Los Osos High School, right? This is the address on Milton Avenue. Okay, let's zoom out. Okay. Okay. So we know there's one house right there, right? Okay. But there's other houses around too, right? So that's a little bit far, right, from there, right? So I would use this function, the radius function. So you click on the radius, you click on here and you drag it out, okay? So there's 2 miles, right? 2 miles, okay? The kid could walk it in half an hour, okay? That's close. That's the closest house, right? Or you could expand it out and say, oh, I could drive 10 minutes, right? Okay, 5 miles, right? Or include everything, 9 miles, right? So this is the function that you could do. 1 second. Hello. Hey. Uh-huh.哦，对，现在我在教课啊，要等到12点可以吗？对对对，你等1、2个钟头嘛，你就告诉客人了。 你再继续打电话给国人嘛，好吗？OK，对，你 text 给他嘛，你 text 里面你说 urgent 就好了。OK，好，拜拜。Okay, so this circle, right? You could clear it, clear all shapes. That's an eraser, okay. Or you could say, okay, I don't want this high school, right? I don't have a choice. So I would say, if you want the high school, okay. There's another high school on the east side, okay. They say, oh, which one do you mean, okay? Victoria Street, okay. So that's that other high school off of East Avenue, okay? So on here, you're closer to some of your other, okay? These are the two schools, right? So if you draw your radius from this school, okay? Again, 2 miles, we're pushing it, okay? Yeah, they have to walk 45 minutes. But to include these 3 houses in there, okay? And you click on results, okay? And voila, you have those 4 houses that's in close proximity to Etawana High School, okay? So the price range is $550 all the way to $650, right? With different, obviously with different square footage, 2,200 to 2,500. Okay, so this is the way to go about and do that. Okay, so if I go back to the map search, right? We could do something else. We could clear everything. Okay. And for some folks, they want, hey, I want to be close to a supermarket. Okay. Let's say, which supermarket you want? Okay. Oh, I love Chinese food, right? How about 99 Ranch Market? Okay, in Rancho Cucamonga, right? Okay. Voila, it's there, right? Okay. There's Archibald and Baseline. Okay, that's what a market is. But if you look at it, right, it's very far, right? The 3 cities that we specify, right? There's hardly any listing there. Okay. So it has to be all the way out here, right? Okay. But let's go back to some of the criteria, right, that we looked at. Okay. Let's increase this price range to 900. Okay. You got 23, so let's look at the results. And I look at the map, see where we are. And you can see, right, this is the supermarket, right? So I clear the function, right, and then I redraw from here. So within 2 miles, right, okay, or 2.5 miles, okay, okay, and then I look at the results. Okay, I got 4 that I could walk to the supermarket, okay, but as you can see, right, it's 330, right, all the way to 890, right? So if you cannot find something, it may be out of your price range, or they don't have 5 bedrooms, right? For whatever the reason is, okay. All right, so let's go back to criteria. Okay, let's take the map off, right? Clear the map. And as you can see, right, you go down, right? You could specify a lot of things, right? Different structure types, okay? As a house, multifamily, office, right? And do they have power production, right? What does that mean? Solar, right? Or green, right? Or if we want REOs, right? You just want REOs, right? You click on that, 0, right? Notice of default, 0, right? Short sale, 0. Okay, probate listing, 0, right? So all of that, right? But nowadays there's not much foreclosure, right? So standard sale, you have 48 matches, right? And going down, right, you got more stuff that you could filter. For example, you want central air, right? You want a bonus room. You want all bedrooms downstairs. You all the bedroom upstairs, right? You want 2 staircases. You know, where you want a laundry room, right? There's a lot of things that you could specify, but it all depends on the listing agent, what they put on their listing. If they don't put it on there, right, you put on that filter, you're not gonna find anything. Alright, so these detailed stuff, it's best to just call up the listing agent and say, oh, do you have this? Do you have that? Okay. Once you have identified several houses, okay. And they also, HOA, you don't want HOA, put 0 here, okay. And then knock it down to 29, okay. And then view, right? You want view, right? Let's say you want city lights, okay. 1 match. That must be up in let's take a quick look. 750. Okay, it's up there. Okay, and keep going down. Okay, and then you can even, if you like a particular listing agent, you could put down their code and see all of their listings, right? Or the office or company. Okay, you could do that. Okay, so there's a lot of things that you could do here. Okay, a lot of filterings that you could do, but if you cannot find something and you put in all these filters and stuff like that, right? Okay, they don't have a button here to clear all the filters. So what do? You start a new search, right? So you start a new search and everything is clean. Okay, so you say active, blah blah blah. You put in your basic stuff and continue, right? So this is what we do in terms of how to search for a house. Okay, similar things when you do searching for rentals, right? Okay, you just go to lease properties, but you put in the same thing, right? How much the rent is, right? How many bedrooms, what cities, etc., etc. Okay, so it comes up the same. To show it, again, very carefully look at the showing instruction, how they want you to show it. Okay, so let's go back to some of the choices that we have. Okay, so let's click on any one of these. Let's say this one. Okay, this is in Fontana, right? Going for 660. And you look at the show instruction and say, please text this number to get a gate code. Okay, some communities they have a gate, right? Sometimes they don't give out gate codes. They just say, follow the residents going in, right? But some of them, they say they only allow one car at a time. So then you screw. Then you have to call the agent and say, oh, okay, there's a gate code. And then it says, please take off the shoes. After show the property, please turn off the lights. Okay. So they may have, or you could put on those shoe coverings. Okay, because they might have white carpet, right? They don't want you to dirty it up. Okay. So this is Man Lee. We know it's an Asian Chinese agent, right? So the house is probably belong to an Asian. Okay. So if I click on here, right, the blue link, and the owner is Gao Ling and Hu Yang. Okay. Lucky guess, right? Alright, so that's the aspect of searching, right? And then you could see how it's being done. Okay, so I highly recommend it when you get your software, go there and on a weekend or on a Monday, Tuesday, spend 3 to 4 hours, half a day, okay, exploring, right? Putting out markup searches, right? And play around with the filtering so you would understand it. Not like when some actual customer buyer will call you up, please start showing houses for me tomorrow, and then you're scrambling and you don't know what to do. And so, oh, let's call Pac. And then Pac will say, oh, didn't I send you a video link? Look at the video, okay? From the agent training video, okay? This is being recorded, okay? So, do some homework, right? Do some searches, and then you get the feel of how to do the searches. And once you get a couple of them down, you'll feel very comfortable with it. And you could, search anything on the MLS network, unless they don't have it, right? Then you'll be a professional of finding the house that has a perfect fit for your buyer. Okay. All right. So next item on the agenda is that we're gonna show you how to make an offer. Okay. All right. So we may carry that on to another training in more detail. So I'm gonna spend roughly about 15-20 minutes to do a simple offer. Okay. Now, when you do your offer, okay, open up these windows, okay, of what a listing is, okay, because you're gonna have access to your listing ID and stuff like that, okay. So I'm gonna go and look at my recent searches, okay, and this is the one that we're gonna look at later on, okay. So I'll use this as an example so then I could kill two birds with one stone. Okay, I want to make a template, right? So then I'm gonna do my own offer later on. Okay, I'm just gonna build on that. Okay. All right. So this is the house that we are interested, for example, and we click on the parcel. Okay. So we know the detail report here. So when we say who the sellers are, we could put the names in. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to the call form. Now I could go back to here, the Tri-County, and I click on the car. Okay. And then I sign in. Oh, it's changed. So let me see what I changed it to. Okay, so we're in. Alright, so this is the car form. So once you log in, you access the transaction, access zip form, and they're validating my membership, and then continue. Okay, using this platform, we're gonna write an offer. Okay, so you could see that this is California Association of Realtors. Okay, you have a dashboard, the form, transaction templates, etc. Okay, that's the top menu, and then the second menu is under transactions. Right, we wanna buy or sell a listing. Right, I say new. Okay, a brand new transaction. Okay, and I want to do a new purchase offer. New purchase. Okay, I'm not doing a listing, I'm not doing a lease listing, I'm just doing a purchase. So click on this icon, and then I have to name it, right? So I name it 13093. What is that? River Oaks, okay? River Oaks Drive Rancho, okay? So once you see the address here, just click on it, right? And then I put in the buyer's name, okay? And I remember correctly, his name is Hardy. Residential, okay? And then you see this little link here. It says MLS Connect. So if you know the MLS number, you could import all the information from that listing into your transaction. So you don't have to type in the listing agent's name, number, and all that, right? So it's a lot easier, okay? So let's do that, okay? So I click on that. We have a choice, right? What MLS name, okay? So we use that. Now the listing ID, I have to grab it from here, okay? So I highlight, right click, copy, okay? And then go back to my form. And then I right click, paste, okay? Include a property photo, and then I say find or search, okay? Now, this picture looks like the same picture I see on MLS, right? So I say okay, listing price, right? Everything checks out. And then I say use the listing, okay? So right now, all of the data from this listing will be populated into the forms that I'm about to fill out, okay? And then the status is active, and then it says select template, okay? I already make some templates already, so I use the normal purchase standard template, okay? And then comment, I just say new buyer, Hardy, etc. Okay, so you save. So you have created a transaction that you could use, right? Putting offer in, putting counter offer, right? Request for repair, all of that transaction paperwork will be under this file, right? So then looking at the secondary line, right, I look at the document, right, what I have created. So it has two documents. One is the actual offer called the RPA, Residential Purchase Agreement. The second one is the cooperating broker compensation agreement that basically confirm, right, how much we're getting, right? So let's do this one first, right? We just want to find out what's the compensation for it, right? So we go again to the listing, we drag down here, and it says, oh, they're paying us 2%. Okay, so I go back here, click on this form, right? And if you can see, right, they populated the APN number already for me. Okay, I don't have to type that in. Okay, and then I just say here, right, I'm confirming, right, in the MLS that you are paying me 2.00%. Okay, and that's it, right? Okay, and the property is listed with the CR MLS network. Okay. If I want to modify it, I would say, oh, I'm bringing you all cash offer over price, $800,000, right? I wanted to modify to 3% or 2.5%. I can negotiate using this form, okay? But if I do that, my broker have to sign below here, and the listing agent broker have to sign here to agree, okay? They may ignore you, okay? Number of outcomes. And sometimes if it goes through a short sale, the bank will decide how much each side will get, okay? So let's save it at that, okay? So we save it, and then we'll go back. Okay, save. Okay, we'll go back. Now let's fill out the offer, okay? So this is the offer package. So click on that. And if you could scroll down, right, you have roughly about 16 pages, okay? But you just fill in the blanks. Very simple, okay? And whatever there's a highlighted peach color, okay, you have to look at and see if you need to fill it in, okay? So this is for leasing more than 1 year, that box, okay? So just ignore that, okay? So going down here, right, buyer, right? You have to put in the buyer's name, right? But my template is already have my company name here, and then my name, and then my DRE number, okay? So who is my buyer, right? Okay, it's Hardy, okay, and then of course last name, right? I don't even know the guy's last name yet, okay. All right, so I could go in there later to change it, right, to modify it, okay. So I'm just filling this out as if you are doing your offer, okay. So just scrolling down. Now this form is saying that we are representing the buyer to buy this house from the seller, okay. So, but when you have time, okay, read all of this information, okay. So to fill in the offer, simply just go to where you have highlighted, okay. So seller or landlord, right? So this is selling, so it's seller. So who are the sellers? Okay, oh, we saw it back here, right? Okay, so if you look at the property details here, let me bring this a little bit bigger. Okay, you have two person, right? The second person's name usually go on the second line, and they reverse the last name and the first name. Okay, so Jingu G, right? And you see the first one is G Jangu, right? So this is the first name, last name, right? And when they put it here, typically is last name, comma, first name, right? So this is the correct first name, last name. So that's seller number 1. So I copy that over, and I put seller, and then paste, right? And I go back, and then I highlight Zhang Z, right? But I know that the names are reversed, right? Because of the last name, first name. So I click on the second seller, paste, space, and then paste again. Okay. So I take out the first name, the last name up front. Okay. And then take out the first name. Okay. So Z Zhang. Okay. But if you get it mixed up, it's okay. They will correct it later on. Okay. There's sometimes there's a company name there. Okay. Sometimes it's a trust name. Sometimes it's a incorporation. Sometimes a LLC. Okay. And if you're so confused, right? Just put owner of record. Okay, owner of record. Okay, that will say whatever's on the grant deed, that's the seller. Okay, some agent does that. Okay, all right. So continue down. So this is saying that who is representing whom. Okay, on the same page. Okay, so you say, okay, we have the sellers, right? We have the buyer. We have our company. Okay, and we have our company. So this is actually another listing from our agent. Okay, so our company is being due agent. Okay, we're both the listing agent and the selling agent. Okay, all right. So this is saying about wire fraud is just advisory for buyer not to wire money, unless they exactly know where the money is going. Okay, because there's a lot of scammers out there. They intercept the emails, oh, wire the money to this account, okay, and then if they do without checking, then the money's gone, okay. All right, so this is the actual offer, okay. So first they ask you for the date, so we put today's date, okay, and how much are we offering, right? The address is already filled in, okay. How much are we offering, okay? So they're asking for now let's look at what they're asking for. Okay, 745. Okay, and from my previous study on this, okay, we're gonna offer just an arbitrary number, 760. Okay, because I think it's priced below. Okay, so if we could get it at 760, then it's okay. I think it's gonna be higher than 760. Okay, so let's put down 760,000. I like to add $100 to it, okay? Because a lot of people, they may have the same number up front, but I have the $100 edge, okay? And close in 30 days, assuming that is a regular conventional loan, okay? And the initial deposit typically we put down as 3%, okay? By law it's 1%, but we put it a little bit higher, 3%. Okay, so 760. So it's 22,800, right? So I just put an even number down, okay? So let's just say it's 20,000. Okay, just roughly in the same range, but you don't want to put down the dollars and cents and all that, right? You may want to do that to get a notice, right? But typically I just put down a flat even number. And then it goes down, if you read all of this, if it's all cash offer, right, just click on all cash offer, okay? But it's not, okay? So first loan, right, typically is 80%, right, LTV. So 760 times 0.8, 608. Okay, So he's going to get a loan for 608. Okay. So he may want to knock that down to 548 if he has more down payment. So this is a high balance loan. Okay. Anything above 548, 250 is a high balance loan. Then the interest rate is a little bit higher. Okay. So that's the interest rate. Okay. So I would put down maybe 2.99. Okay. And 2 points, right? Okay. So that's basically, and you could leave this blank if you want to, okay? If you don't know the interest rate, so you could work with a, mortgage loan originator or loan agent, or later on you become your own loan agent. Then you know how to fill that out. So basically, you have 20K up here, right? And then you have the balance of 132, right? So you need about $150,000, okay, plus the closing costs, okay. So with this offer, you have to submit with, the proof of fund, right, showing that you have $150,000 in the bank, plus maybe another $10,000 for closing costs, all right. So 160, showing in any combination of accounts, stocks, that you have that you could buy this house from, or even from a gift letter from a fund, right? From a rich uncle, right? Or mom, dad, relatives, right? They could give you a gift, okay, to make that down payment and the closing costs, okay. Okay, so basically, if you look at this additional financing terms, here's where you could get a little bit creative. Okay, so most FHA and VA loan here, they ask for the seller to give them some credit. Okay, like $5,000, $8,000 for the closing costs. Okay, so you may want to put that down there. Okay, or you could say we're gonna bid it up and we just add to a maximum of $10,000 to the appraised value of the house. You can put it there as well, okay? Because this have to do with money, right? But I see other agents concerned about money. They put it under other terms as to sneak in that credit, in there, right? But this should be under this page, okay? Some agent they just put it elsewhere on the offer, and the listing agent did not catch it, and they sign it, and oh, the seller have to give us this credit, right? So that's a little bit not ethical, so to speak. So anything to do with money, put on this page. All right. Okay, continuing on that, I say that I verify all the bank statement, verification attached. If you can get it, uncheck this and give it to them later. Okay. Now here's the box, right? Appraisal contingency and removal, right? So if you have a strong buyer, right, they could pay the difference of the lower appraisal price, then you check this box. Okay. But if not, don't check it. Okay. And it takes 17 days roughly to remove the contingency. Okay. And the loan contingency is 21 days. So if you know it's a difficult loan, you ask for 25. Right, if you know it's an easy loan that you could do, maybe 15 days. Okay, but we'll leave it by the default. Okay. And if you check this box, no loan contingency, what does that mean? That means even if the bank don't give me a loan, I have cash to buy it. That's what it means. I don't care about loan contingency. Okay. Or if you check that, right, so if the regular loan I cannot get, I'll just get a hard money, rich loan. Okay. Then you could do that. Okay. All right, going down the line, right? Okay, so I put this in the template saying it's an escalation clause, right, to get the highest price. So let's read this, right? Offer escalation clause. Okay, buyers will beat any and all highest verifiable offers by $5,000 received by sellers to become the highest price offer. What does that mean? That means, oh, Mr. Seller, whatever higher offer that you got, higher than mine, right? I add $5,000 to it, then my offer now becomes the highest offer. Okay, so that's what we call the escalation clause. Some sellers, right, they see multiple people doing this and they couldn't handle it. Say, okay, remove that clause, right? Just give me your best price, okay? And okay, so that's that. Okay, some people put $10,000, okay, and some people put a maximum limit on there too. I don't put a limit because I want them to get back to me. So, you sure you wanna, add that 5,000? Then I know what's the highest price, right? Okay. All right. So other stuff is like the allocation of calls, right? Who pays for what, right? We want seller to give us a hazard report, right? Environmental, is it in a fire zone, earthquake zone, noise pollution zone, etc. Okay. And we want them to do a termite and termite clearance report too. Okay. Seller's choice. Okay. And the government requirement, right? Minimum, give me the smoke detector and the carbon monoxide. Okay. Now for VA loan and FHA loan, then you could check, these additional boxes. Okay. Now escrow and title, right? Typically in Southern California, we do 50-50. And then we specify our own escrow company and title company. They will probably counter you back with their own. Okay. And the seller like to use their own. Okay. But never hurt to request, okay? So they have to counter you back anyhow, okay? And then other costs, right? Transfer fees for county, city, HOA, right? Since we know this house don't have a HOA, we take that out, okay? No HOA. And if there's any private transfer, if any, okay? Now, we want a home warranty, right? So it's 0.1%. So, so this will be 760. Okay. I want to upgrade the version to include AC, heating, roof, and major appliances. This is not a home or spa pool, right? So we don't need to check that, okay? Or you could say, I don't want home warranty. I waive it, right? I'll save you $700, right? You could do that, okay? And then look at all the stove, fridge, washer, dryer, right? So we go back to the listing and then we look at all the pictures, right? And see the kitchen. Okay. Now the kitchen don't have a fridge, right? So don't be stupid and say I want a fridge. Right? Okay, so let's see the laundry room. No washer dryer, right? So, don't put washer and dryer, right? They're not gonna give you a free washer and dryer, right? Okay. So if you do that and leave it like that, right? The listing agent is gonna say, oh, that lazy agent. I have to counter back saying that there's no fridge and there's no wash and dry, right? So do the courtesy and uncheck it, okay? Now they have other stuff in there that you want, right? Like a pool table, right? Or whatever, put it down, okay? That you want it to be included, okay? But some buyers, they love the furniture and whatnot, right? Don't mix the furniture with the sale, okay? Leave it separate, okay? Because if there's anything wrong with the furniture, this whole deal is going down the drain, Okay, separated. Okay. Alright, so other stuff in here, if you have any lease item like solar or water, soft water softener equipment and all that, okay? And are we getting an empty house or are they plan to stay there? Right? So if they plan to stay there, you need to add a SIP form. Okay, so assuming that they're just gonna move out, okay? Or if it's tenant occupied, right? It's an investment home, right? You want it to be vacant or you want the tenant to remain in possession. If you do, there's another form that you have to fill out, okay? Okay, so assuming there's nothing like that, let's just move on, okay? Okay, here is the for condominium, okay? So this doesn't apply, okay? Condition of the property, investigation, okay? Seller has 7 days after acceptance to deliver reports, right? And buyer has 17 days to do the inspection. But sometimes they will cut this down to 10 days. Okay, just to want to make sure, hey, you find something you don't like, right? Just cancel. Don't waste my time and drag out, 1 more week, right? So they may put 10 days here. Okay, so just leave it for 17 days. Okay, and then access to the property, right? You want, all access, right? The 17 days. Okay. Now, this next thing says removal of contingencies with offer. You don't want to check that unless you're buying the house or old house and you want to knock it down, demolition it, and then rebuild your home. Then you check this, okay? And if it's all cash, right? You don't need to do the loan. You don't care how much it's appraised for, and you don't care what condition it's in. You just want to knock it down. If you could save the foundation, just build the other foundation on top, or you could just knock down everything and then build a brand new home. Okay? Then that's when you remove all contingencies. Okay. And then notice to buy or sell to perform. Okay. I want to add an extra 24 hours to buy time. Okay. In case they say, oh, you have to close, right? Well, give me 24 hours more to respond to your request. Okay. But sometimes they catch it and they just put it back to 2 days. It's okay. Okay. And then close of escrow, right? They could demand the close of escrow within 3 days. Okay. And then the rest is just basic stuff, right? When they open escrow, you have to put in the deposit within 3 days. Okay. And then initialing for arbitration or disputes, that's out of the court. Okay. And then some definitions of what all these terms mean in this contract. Okay. And then of course my buyer have to sign this and date. And when the agent received this, they have to present the offer on what date. Okay. Or they could reject my offer. Okay. And this little box here is for escrow to sign their receipts. Okay. If they open escrow. Okay. And this is a buyer inspection advisory, telling them what to expect. They sign here. And then also for the Consumer Privacy Act, okay, they sign here. And that's the entire offer. Okay. So if we look at all of this, right, all I am doing is filling in the blanks. Okay, very, very simple. Okay, maybe the first time you may have lots of questions, but if you do 1 or 2 of these, or do some homework, okay, do a makeup one, and then you go through all the blanks and you understand them, then it's a very simple process. So I started about, it only took me a half an hour with all the explanation. Okay, sometimes if I do this without explaining, it'll take me 15 minutes. Okay, so once you get good at it, 10-15 minutes or at most half an hour, you could knock out an offer out. Assuming that you have all of the bank statements and then your pre-approval letter ready. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end here. So obviously you have to save. Okay. If your computer crashed, then you have to retype everything again. Okay. So we're back. So now we have two, right? This commission stuff, right? Don't let your buyer see it because you don't want them to know how much you're making. Okay. Oh, you're making. Oh, you know. Okay. So, but sometimes they will know on the paperwork, the escrow paperwork. Okay. That how much commissions are being paid. Okay. All right. So you could transfer this, right? You could click on this, and you could save it as a PDF, and then you have it as a record, or have them hand sign it, right? If not, right, then you go to e-sign. Okay, you click on e-sign. Okay, and then you basically say new. Okay, you always have to look at the menu. Okay, because sometimes it's, oh, what do I go now, right? New. I want a new e-sign. So I could e-sign this document with the buyer, right? Or I could add external documents to this, right? What are they? His bank statement and the pre-approval letter, right? So I include this in the package. So if I do that, okay, and then I go to next, okay, and then I find his name, but I need his email address, and of course I need to sign it, right? So the two of us, yeah, I have to put in a number, right? Let's say 123@Yahoo, right? Okay. All right, so the two signatures are there. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, what you got?
I'm Sammy, the poor man.
Oh, okay.
I agree to you
What is it?
for the
Oh,
property.
okay, cool.
For the property.
Okay, I'll mail it to you.
Mail it to me. I forgot to put the envelope.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I'll put it in there.
She said about something the train on the bottle is missing.
Yeah. Can you check on that?
I will check because
Okay.
I need to fill
Right.
in and stay there for a long time.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll take care of
I
this.
will wait
Okay.
for
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I want to read one of those magazines.
Sure. Take one.
Thank you. I understand Chinese.
Yes. Okay, so we have the two, one is the buyer, one is the selling agent. So once you check those names, right, you go to the bottom and you say close. And then you go to next. Okay. So you could check, right? You see, I need to sign there, right? And there's three places I need to sign. Sign there. And at the end, I sign there, okay? Okay, and then I go next. What's next? Let me go back. And then I go to the other signer. Oops, signer. Yeah, I just want to find out if I could get the buyers. Yeah, it doesn't allow me to. So I guess after that, you could see the buyer's signature where they are. Then over here, I send the invitations, okay, for them to sign it. Alright, so I'm not gonna do that, right? So then you know exactly what to do, right? Or you could just print it out, have them hand sign it, okay? There's another option. Or you could use a third-party e-signature software to do it, okay? And I use DocuSign to do that, okay? So let's go back. Alright, so basically this we have okay, let me search. Okay, this is the file that we have, okay? Alright, so go to document, and basically, you know, that's how you fill in an offer, okay? So after you do this way, you get all the signatures back, then you package it, right, with this offer, the commission, stating that you're accepting the 2.0%, and the buyer's bank statements to prove that he has the funds, and also the pre-approval letter, right, from the loan officer that he could do the loan. So all these 4 documents, you put it inside an email, and then you email it to the listing agent, and then afterwards you call him or her up and saying that, hey, please check your email, we have an offer for you, okay? And then you follow up and you do the counter offer back and forth, and until you get your offer accepted, right? Then you tell your buyer to open escrow and then put in the money and then start the transaction. Okay, so this is the entire process. Okay. All right, very good. So we're gonna end the meeting right now. Okay, the training, and we go to the live broadcast, and I end the stream. Okay, so next training probably we're gonna do the listing and so on and so on. Okay, so have a great day.